Stephen Lamarca is AMT's manufacturing technology analyst. He has a background in physics and a passion for all things mechanical, namely automobiles, clocks, and, mac and cheese?
Mac and cheese! Hey, give me that back.
Join him on a road trip across the country as he seeks out the world's top innovators in manufacturing. Let's check in to see where Steve is now.
For a good road trip and to carry around a film crew, you need a lot of cargo space. Let's check that out.
Can I get out there?
No. Didn't break it.
From the rocks and rivers, all across the city skyline, the world's much bigger than you may have realized. Let's go. It's a beautiful day. We're getting back on the road. All the places you'll go, road tripping with Steve.
I'm gonna do a 3-point turn here. Watch your mouth, Steve. 4-point turn. All right, it's technically 5. So we are on our way to Jarvis Cutting Tools in New Hampshire. They specialize in taps. They are becoming a 6th generation family-owned company, and while they've been around forever, they have an incredibly youthful staff, youthful marketing campaign, and a really youthful and fresh, more importantly, fresh and modern take on cutting tool technology. So let's have some fun with this one. And now we're pulling into his facility, and I'm pretty sure it's it, considering that the brick building says Jarvis right on the side of it with big yellow letters. There's the 6th generation mowing the lawn right now. In case you don't know, Jarvis Cutting Tools is mentioned twice at the front door, above you and below. All right, how do we get in?
Oh, there we go.
There he is. What's up, dude? There we go.
So we're gonna do the elbow.
All right. Well, I'm excited to see the facility, see what you guys have going on, and meet the family.
That's great.
And hear the
Can't
story.
wait to have you and show you around.
Awesome. Let's
Thanks
check
a lot.
out
Come
some
on
metal.
in. Let's head out to the factory and I'll show you where we make stuff. And so here's the factory.
This is where the material comes in?
So the material comes in. Most of the material we buy is in bar form.
Okay.
And you can see that there's color coded by the different grades.
I love that you guys have this long bar stock and, of course, naturally long bar feeders.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. So you want to see one of them running?
Yes, I would love to.
That sounds great. And so it's coming in as a bar, and it comes out here as just as a blank. And so it's got the center holes in it, the square, and all the just basic dimensions right there.
Is that is that to send the cutting fluid through?
No,
the
this
tool?
is just because when we're grinding it later, we have to grind
Gotcha.
between centers.
Okay, so that helps keep it.
Yes,
still.
the concentric for everything like that. Okay.
And that's awesome. You see the bar stock coming through here, going into the machine, and of course the machine's doing its thing.
Yeah. So we've got, you know, when you're making high-speed steel tools, you sort of have a mix of old equipment that's does a great job and right next to brand new equipment.
Look at that.
So we've got an old tool over there, and I can show you a machine tool over there that we've upgraded a little bit, but it's still good old cast iron. Nothing wrong with that.
Wow, awesome, man. I love seeing like the old and new
right
next
the
to each other.
juxtaposition of the two right there. And we have our captive in-house heat treating facility.
Awesome.
One of the things we really like about this for us is that because we do a lot of different diameters and different steels. This is a very economic way to give our customers a good price.
Right.
That you're not running a huge, massive furnace every time. Okay, so from now on, it's all grinding. Okay.
Awesome.
What we'll do is we'll go down to the end where thread grinding is and show you what's going on there.
So tell me the whole ins and outs. Tell me what it is that makes your guys' grinding world class.
Okay, so what we view it is for the grinding, where those are the finishing operations, and that's really what the customer is seeing, how it performs, what specs we're holding. That's where we have to be world class and know exactly what we're doing, holding our prints that the engineers have designed, the tolerances they give us, and making sure that's all there, but that also the surface finish is there.
Okay.
For the operators, we have a list of measurements they take during setup, and then if the operator changes, so at shift change, if it's a long-running job, the next operator that comes in takes all those same measurements.
Gotcha. And the more variables you know, the more zeroed in specifically on what it is that the customer wants to get and you guys can deliver.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And for this machine, what they're doing right now, this is actually doing 2 operations. So it's putting the threads on, but you can also see on it where it's doing the cutting bevel on the front, sort of, it's called a chamfer.
Okay.
So it's doing that all at once. So when he's doing an inspection, the inspection is not only on the threads, but it's also to make sure that the chamfer is correct and to print.
And is the chamfer that like angle that ramps up to the full size cut thread?
Yes,
Okay,
that's a good
cool.
way of thinking about it.
Okay.
It's where you see on the front, where some threads, they're not full threads, is
Right.
what we call them.
Right, you're
so
just
it's
starting to
counting the
remove the
number.
material.
It's starting to remove it, exactly.
Cool. Wow.
You know, taps are both cutting taps and forming taps.
Right.
And one of our specialties is form taps. And so we sell about 25% of the form taps sold in the United States. And so we've done a lot of work on technology there to make those as good as possible. And so over here we have a department that's involved in improving the surface finish, because the smoother the finish of the tool, the better the tool works.
Right.
And so the tools are all hanging vertically.
Gotcha.
And so it's going to lower it into a precise depth.
Wow.
It's going to rotate at a certain speed and for a certain duration, and it rotates clockwise and then counterclockwise.
So it's almost like a massive KitchenAid.
Yeah, right. I guess you could put it that way. So we've got a variety of stuff going on here to improve the performance, primarily used for our form taps, but we do some stuff with it for our cut taps. All right, cool. So let's go into the office.
Let's go to the meeting room. I want to hear more about.
Yeah, let's talk about some of the sales and marketing stuff we're doing.
Awesome. That's great. So, Alyssa, tell me about what it was like freshening up the marketing and keeping such a traditional and not traditional, but keeping a company that's been around for a long time and is essentially the industry standard. Tell me what the process was like, making sure that their marketing, their imagery is cutting edge.
I came in from outside of manufacturing. So I was kind of new to tooling and metal and everything. And I felt like a lot of our literature and marketing was a little too complicated, a little too industry, a little too engineering. And I wanted to bring it down to a level that somebody with no experience could look at and understand what we make.
Right, and if you have to throw text in there, make it something edgy and that'll get your attention.
Or
make somebody may even become taken aback.
Yeah,
I love it.
Put it behind, on a read more, and then give the full description. But to catch them with that really bold kind of, like we have the glossy red dripped tools, something sexy up front to capture their attention, and then we can get into the nitty gritty if that's what they want. We have engineers that have been here for 40 years, so they can tell you anything you've ever wanted to know.
Right.
One of the first things that we kind of started to do was to convert over to the new logo, which was a little bit of a hurdle. We've operated with the cursive for 115 years.
Yeah.
Younger people didn't know how to read it.
Right.
So
they
they-
don't even teach cursive in schools anymore. So.
Yeah, so people would be like, what company? And I'd see them squint like at my shirt or my name badge, and I use that as my,
that was your indicator.
to take to the table and be like, we really need to update.
I can imagine. But it's what's really great, and I think where a lot of your work really shines through is you're working with a company that has this rich history and makes such a great product. But when you meet the people that work here, the company culture here at Jarvis, they have this youthful energy. And even though the company's been around forever, it's still really young here. And that's something special, and you get to reflect that upon your marketing.
Yeah,
So-
and they're willing to take a little bit of risks and trust me and let me kind of do my thing, which is nice.
Awesome.
That they've been cooperative in updating their look and tone, and
that's a good company to give you that kind of liberty.
it makes it a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Man, Jarvis was really cool. They have been in operation for more than 100 years. They are on their 5th generation, with the 6th generation in the training, it seems. Jarvis is really cool because we learned a lot about taps, and I know what a tap does, and know a little bit about the use of taps, use cases in general. But I had no idea that high-speed steel is actually the ideal material for such a cutting tool. And it was also, being that they're such an old company, they've been around for a long time. It's a family-owned company. And it's a small company. Well, not small. They're a medium-sized company that is probably the premier tap cutting tool company in the world. And with that being said, a very youthful and energetic marketing campaign that doesn't so much focus on the technology. They focus on their customers and being fun, and just I think the film crew would agree that just really fun, great people to hang out with.